Yet in recent times, we often seem not to have recognized who our friends are. This must change. It is now time to take stock of our own house and to resupply its strength. Part of that process involves taking stock of our relationship with Puerto Rico. And if the people of Puerto Rico vote for statehood in their coming referendum, I favor statehood for Puerto Rico, and I would, as president, initiate the enabling legislation to make this a reality. We live on a continent whose 3 countries possess the assets to make it the strongest, most prosperous, and self-sufficient area on earth. Within the borders of this North American continent are the food, resources, technology, and undeveloped territory which, properly managed, could dramatically improve the quality of life of all its inhabitants. It's no accident that this unmatched potential for progress and prosperity exists in 3 countries with such long-standing heritages of free government, and so a developing closeness among Canada, Mexico, and the United States. A North American accord would permit achievement of that potential in each country beyond that which I believe any of us, strong as we are, could accomplish in the presence, or the absence, I should say, of such cooperation. In fact, the key to our own future security may lie in both Mexico and Canada becoming much stronger countries than they are today. No one can say at this point precisely what form future cooperation among our 3 countries will take. But if I am elected president, I would be willing to invite each of our neighbors to send a special representative to our government to sit in on high-level planning sessions with us as partners mutually concerned about the future of our continent. First, I would immediately seek the views and ideas of Canadian and Mexican leaders on this issue and work tirelessly with them to develop closer ties among our peoples. It's time we stop thinking of our nearest neighbors as foreigners. By developing methods of working closely together, we'll lay the foundations for future cooperation on a broader and more significant scale. We'll also put to rest any doubts of those cynical enough to believe that the United States would seek to dominate any relationship among our 3 countries, or foolish enough to think that the governments and peoples of Canada and Mexico would ever permit such a domination to occur. I, for one, am confident that we can show the world by example that the nations of North America are ready, within the context of an unswerving commitment to freedom, to seek new forms of accommodation to meet a changing world. A developing closeness between the United States, Canada, and Mexico would serve notice on friend and foe alike that we were prepared for the long haul, looking outward again and confident of our future. That together we're going to create jobs, to generate new fortunes of wealth for many, and provide a legacy for the children of each of our countries. 200 years ago, we taught the world that a new form of government created out of the genius of man to cope with his circumstances could succeed in bringing a measure of quality to human life previously thought impossible. Now, let us work toward the goal of using the assets of this continent, its resources, technology, and foodstuffs, in the most efficient ways possible for the common good of all its people. It may take the next 100 years, but we can dare to dream that at some future date, a map of the world might show the North American continent as one in which the peoples and commerce of its 3 strong countries flow freely across their present borders. In recent months, leaders in our government have told us that we, the people, have lost confidence in ourselves, that we must regain our spirit and our will to achieve our national goals. Well, it's true, there is a lack of confidence and unease with things the way they are. But the confidence we've lost is confidence in our government's policies. Our unease can almost be called bewilderment at how our defense strength has deteriorated. The great productivity of our industry is now surpassed by virtually all the major nations who compete with us for world markets, and our currency is no longer the stable measure of value it once was. But there remains the greatness of our people, our capacity for dreaming up fantastic deeds and bringing them off to the surprise of an unbelieving world. When Washington's men were freezing at Valley Forge, Tom Paine told his fellow Americans, "We have it in our power to begin the world over again." We still have that power. We, today's living Americans, have in our lifetime fought harder, paid a higher price for freedom, and done more to advance the dignity